Hey guys, welcome back to Panic Knife Doll. If you're looking to improve your skills, I've put together 11 tips on how to do better at Crysis 3 and how to be a better gamer overall. Number 1, mouse sensitivity. Crysis 3 only allows you to adjust sensitivity by increments of 5, which is just too big of a gap for me. So make sure you find the sensitivity that works for you. Slow enough that you can line up those long-range shots, and fast enough that you can spin around without lifting your mouse. I use a Rat7 custom software that allows me to control my sensitivity more precisely. I can also control my DPI on the fly. I usually keep it down at 500, but when I'm inside the pinger, I raise it to 2500 DPI. This really gives me an edge since the pinger moves slowly, so I'm able to move more quickly and I can take out more targets. Just to give you a better idea on how I keep my sensitivity set, in the game I have it set to 25, and in the Rat software I'm at 60%. That takes me about 8.5 inches to turn my character 360 degrees. Since my mouse is covering a larger area, I also use a Cyborg Glide 7, which is an extra large gaming surface. Number 2, key mapping. You should have all your keys assigned to be in comfortable reach of your fingertips so you don't have to lift your palm off the keyboard. This is the layout that works for me. My key mapping on the screen allows me to comfortably play for longer periods of time, and I can take quicker action. I try to stick with a similar layout between the different games I play when I can, so it becomes more of a habit of where they are, and I can automatically know where everything is from the start. Number 3, learn when to use your suit. When you're running around the map, you shouldn't have anything on so you can retain your mobility. Train yourself to turn your armor on before you start firing your weapon. Keep in mind when you're firing you're giving away your position, but with the armor already activated you're more protected from return fire. Plus, it's always a good idea to use cloak when reloading. Train yourself to immediately put on armor when receiving damage so you don't have to use auto armor. I personally never use auto armor because it throws off my gameplay. Whenever I receive damage, the auto armor would automatically come on, but I'm so used to putting it on myself, I would cancel it out and that would get me killed. If you do this, you'll now have an open slot to choose a better module that'll be more beneficial to you in your gameplay. Number 4, use jumping to your advantage. You can jump fairly high in Crysis 3 and very high if you have mobility equipped, making you a much harder target to hit. If you're getting shot in the back, learn how to jump spin around so you can start shooting back. Jumping is also a great defense maneuver when you're almost at the end of your reload animation and you have an enemy coming at you. Jumping and moving can save your life and buy you extra time. Number 5, don't forget about your sidearm. When your primary weapon runs out of ammo, switching to your sidearm should be part of your tactics in any first-person shooter game. Switching to your secondary weapon is always much faster than reloading. Also, don't underestimate the power of the sidearm. They pack a lot of punch for those close-quarter engagements. Number 6, use the right attachment and modules. Find a weapon you're most comfortable with, identify the weapon's weaknesses, and try to complement it with the proper attachments. The same goes for those suit modules. Make sure to equip something that'll complement your gameplay style. I personally like to run and gun, so maneuverability is always on my list with Weapon Pro and Aim Enhanced. When it comes to my weapon, I like to use Scar Mod 2 with the heavy barrel for grip and the red dot sight. Keep in mind playing with a variety of weapons will make you a better player overall. Sometimes I'll select a gun I'm least comfortable with and try to improve with it. Then when I do switch to a better weapon, it feels that much easier. Number 7, learn the map layout. Learn where the map choke points are in high traffic areas. I always like to run on the outside of the map looking in as I try to minimize my angles of exposure. Try not to run through the middle of the map or run out in the open if unnecessary. When someone fires, they usually show up on the map, so make sure you check your minimap often and be more aware of your surroundings. Number 8, play smart. Keep in mind every time you fire your weapon you're showing up on the minimap unless you have silencer equipped. So before you start firing, make sure you can take the enemy down quickly because you'll be revealing your position and wasting ammunition. Burst fire your long-range shots for better accuracy and to preserve ammo. After you fire, try not to stay in the same spot since you risk giving away your position, and don't be a camper. Learn to hip fire in close-quarter engagements. If you're having a hard time controlling the bullet spread while you're hip firing, you can equip Spread Enhancing Module, Foregrip, and Laser Sight as a setup to make your hip fire more accurate. If you're in a standoff with your enemy and you both are firing at each other point blank, try not to stand still. Swaying from left to right will make you a harder target to hit. Number 9, corners and cover. Try not to sprint around corners if possible. It'll take you much longer to pull up your weapon compared to when you're walking. If you're shooting at an enemy and they go around the corner, it's not always a good idea to chase right after them depending on how far back you are. They may have enough time to reposition themselves and have you in their sights when you come around after them, so don't be predictable. Keep in mind you can peek around the corners just to see if anyone's there before you move forward. If someone has spotted you, pre-fire your weapon when coming out of cover to get a jump on them. Number 10, frame rates over graphics. Whenever I play multiplayer competitively, I have all my graphics turned down to low. I really don't care at this point how pretty the environment looks. What I'm looking for is performance and the best frame rate I can get. On the other hand, when I'm playing single player casually, I turn my graphics up to ultra so I can just enjoy the game. And number 11, PTFO. If you don't want to play the modes that focus on completing the objectives, then play Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch and stop pissing everybody off. Be a team player and work together, since having a lot of kills doesn't always get you to the top of the scoreboard. You'll even notice actually playing the objectives will earn you more points. I also wanted to mention a few general tips that can help. Take breaks. It's very easy to get caught up in the game, and before you know it, you've been playing for hours. This can lead to discomfort in your hands, back, and neck, among other areas. By taking a break, even if it's just getting up for a drink or standing from your chair, you can avoid these uncomfortable symptoms, and your eyes, mind, and muscles can better relax. Make sure to have proper lighting. You don't want to be in a dark room staring at a bright computer screen, so make sure you adjust your screen and the room lighting for comfortable settings that's right for you. Take advantage of sound. Being able to hear an enemy coming towards you or knowing which direction you're being shot from can really put you at a huge advantage. Set up surround sound or use gaming headphones to fully utilize the sound within the game. And modify your space to create proper posture. You can do this by making sure your chair and monitor is adjusted to the correct height. Remember, it is just a game, so don't take it too seriously and practice to be a better player. Hopefully you guys found my tips helpful, but let me know what are some of the things you do. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed and hit subscribe. I'm Katie with Panic Knife Doll, and thanks for watching.